As the 14th century AD was ending, a victorious Chinese army rode in from the steppes at the empire's northern edge. It had dealt the Mongols an overwhelming defeat and expelled the nomadic warriors who had ruled over China for more than 100 years. It was Shu Di's father, Shu Yuanshong, who liberated China and became emperor. The victory made the Ming Dynasty China's new royal family, earning the clan respect and power. The new emperor renames his home city Beiping, Northern Peace. No one can imagine that soon Beiping will boast a great palace, the center of a global empire. Prince Shu Di's ambition demands a monument. Historically, Beiping has been a provincial outpost. When they ruled the Middle Kingdom, the Mongols made it their capital, but it is hardly splendid. And China's official capital is nearly 1,200 miles south, far from the unstable borderlands that nurtured the Mings. Shu Di is as far from Nanjing, the capital, as he is from China's throne. This is where Shu Di's father has established the Ming Dynasty. As a fourth son, he has no prospect of ruling. His family decides the prince will be a soldier. Folktales say the Mings cast Shu Di out into the wilds without food or shelter in a brutal test of survival. He is only 9 years old. The boy learns to track and trap prey. And, when the moment is right, to strike. His unsentimental education marks Shu Di for life. Deep in the mountains, the boy learns to trust only himself, to pursue his goals relentlessly and without conscience. He will control his destiny, or die trying. This destiny eludes Shu Di until he's nearly 40. He has achieved nearly everything his father has set out for him. But Shu Di wants more. A fortune teller begs an audience. His predictions will rouse ambitions Shu Di has kept to himself. The seer flatters his host. In private, he offers a prophecy. Your Majesty has the aspect and the bearing of a son of heaven. You move like a dragon, and you strike like a tiger. There is no doubt you are the true Son of Heaven, the true ruler over humanity. An attractive prospect, and an incitement to high treason. The throne of heaven has an occupant, the legitimate monarch, Shu Di's nephew. Only the Xianwan Emperor has the mandate of heaven. That means he can count on the loyalty of his officials. Not only that, the Jianwan Emperor holds Shu Di's sons hostage, insurance against treachery. But the Jianwan Emperor makes a catastrophic mistake. He frees Shu Di's sons, The palace gates are open, he says. The youths may return north to Beiping. The Jianwan emperor means his gesture as a show of confidence. Instead, Shu Di sees weakness. It's the opportunity he's waited for. In the year 1402, he gathers 1 million soldiers before the gates of Nanjing. 3 years have passed, and he has repeatedly defeated the emperor's forces in battle. But he must employ his cunning and military genius to win entry into the great city. Instead of exhausting his forces in a long siege, Shu Di resorts to bribery. Every courtier has his price. Shu Di's bribes makes the traitors rich. And they throw open the capital's gates. The capital falls without a fight. Shu Di's soldiers pillage Nanjing for days on end, breaking into palaces and sacred temples. Countless buildings are burned to the ground. The population is defenseless before the marauding hordes. But Shu Di's triumph rings hollow. The Jianwan emperor disappears without a trace. The smoldering rubble of his palace may contain his corpse, or not. Shu Di is tormented by the rumor that the emperor escaped through a secret passageway. This fear will haunt Shu Di throughout his life, that the Jianwan emperor is alive and will one day take his revenge. On the 17th of July, 1402, Shu Di proclaims himself Emperor of China. Most of the Jianwan emperor's officials refuse to acknowledge Shu Di's authority. Some go so far as to refuse to kowtow, the traditional gesture of courtly humility. They say the stain of the usurper will be on Shu Di for 100 generations. As emperor, Shu Di takes the name Yongle, meaning eternal joy. As he ascends the throne, he encounters immediate and open opposition. Feng Shou, the preparer of imperial edicts, provokes an uproar. He outright refuses to serve Yongle, declaring loyalty only to the true Jianwan emperor. The Jianwan emperor alone has the mandate of heaven according to ancestral principles. By seizing the throne, Yongle violated those edicts, Feng Shou says. But Yongle also knows the ancestral laws, and under them, his critic is committing high treason. The official admits only to one failing, that he was too late to advise Jianwan to kill his treacherous uncle. Yongle condemns him to the cruelest punishment, death by 1,000 cuts. The official is not the only man who must pay for his principles with his life. Suspicious of China's educated and respected civil servants, Yongle orders a terrible purge. Not only bureaucrats, but their families also perish. Yongle's victims number in the tens of thousands. This inhuman campaign secures Yongle's place on the throne, but the official's words will haunt him like a curse. Yongle believes in traditional values and superstitions. He can find no rest. His conscience plagues him. He won his mandate with violence and with terror. It is a throne of blood. And still he fears the toppled Jianwang emperor. His nephew may still live, and even if he is dead, he may still have supporters who will stop at nothing to kill Yongle. To suppress his misgivings, Emperor Yongle withdraws to Beiping. He will rename it Beijing, the northern capital. Emperor Yongle wastes no time. An army of laborers levels the old Mongol palaces. His new capital, Beijing, will be a transformation. The task of managing the designing and building of the Forbidden City goes to Ruanyang, a skilled architect and eunuch. None of his kind has ever held so high an office. Historically, eunuchs have been central to China's government, a sterile priesthood of middle managers, unfettered by family ties. They say governing a state without ritual is like ploughing without a ploughshare. For the Forbidden City is the architectural expression of cosmic harmony. The constant repetition of unchanging ritual permits this cosmic order to be maintained. In 1421, Yongle's star shines more brightly than ever. "20 years on the throne have brought him to the peak of his power. He has adhered strictly to tradition, trying to win the loyalty of officials alienated by the bloody purge that began his reign. The warrior has become a capable planner, a patron of arts and literature, an expander of China's horizons. One of his greatest accomplishments is the codifying of more than 1,000 years of Chinese history. He creates the world's first encyclopedia, numbering more than 11,000 volumes. He himself writes the foreword. In order to rule the world, our wise forefathers created civilization based on ritual, moral values, and education. From the warrior, an intellectual has emerged. But Yongle's mode of governing, braided with symbolism and repetition, may not be as permanent as he thinks. Outside this closed system, the world still turns. Languishing behind bars, Li Shimeian yearns for freedom. Perhaps he was wrong. But workers had hardly completed the Forbidden City when his prophecy of disaster comes true. When the lightning strikes, heaven really does seem to have withdrawn its mandate from Yongle, as Li Shimeian warned. The summer storm finds the Forbidden City's weak points. Its splendid roofs are supported on wooden beams. Ruanan's masterpiece cannot withstand heaven's fury. The city's three principal halls, the center of the world, go up in flames. Yongle stands before his life's work, now in ruins. But the Ming Dynasty will survive. 13 more Ming emperors will occupy the Dragon Throne. But the fire predicts the empire's eventual fate. In 1644, frozen in splendor and ritual, paralyzed by intrigue and betrayal, the dynasty totters. The Chinese people groan under the burden of taxation, and yet the imperial coffers are empty. As rebels encircle the Forbidden City, the last Ming emperor walks the coal hill overlooking Yongle's achievement. Watching his capital burn, he uses a silken sash to hang himself. At the end, only a single courtier, a eunuch, accompanies the Son of Heaven as he dies.